Hello. Have you ever found that you've had an experience where you know you're overreacting? Maybe somebody does something or says something that's kind of annoying and you've just totally blown it out of proportion, and you see that you're blowing it out of proportion, but you just can't seem to pull it back or control yourself. This video is going to be all about what you can do and how to understand why we overreact. My name is Jennifer Van Wyk, and I'm a humanitarian, psychotherapist, and best-selling author. And I'm coming to you from Bangladesh, where it's a little bit chaotic and where I'm helping out with the Rohingya response. And one of the things I really have to be very vigilant about, actually, is taking care of my body, because that is one of the basic reasons why we overreact. Either we're not getting enough sleep, we're not eating the right food, maybe we don't have access to the right food, not getting enough sunlight, we're just too stressed or exhausted, right? So that's really the first thing. I love being deep and profound, but really let's just be practical. Let's just make sure your body's doing okay, because if your body's not doing okay, then it's gonna really come out in emotional dysregulation. The second reason why we might overreact is because there's something that we need to learn from this situation. So maybe there's a wound that you need to heal. There's a belief. I have a video about unconscious limiting beliefs. And these are beliefs that you really aren't aware that you have, but they're really kind of running the show from your subconscious. So they're creating situations, or you're reacting to situations because of these limiting beliefs, even though that actually hasn't even happened, or maybe it is happening, but you're overreacting. So if you want more ideas of how to heal these unconscious limiting beliefs, be sure to check out that video. Now, how do we get over it? What do we do once we're overreacting? Oftentimes you can't just rationalize with yourself and tell yourself you're overreacting, because you already know that you're overreacting. So what can you do from here? First things we have to do, and I say this all the time, but we need to acknowledge and label our emotions. Labeling our emotions is like magic. 70% of the time, it will actually just make those emotions evaporate. The thing is you have to be very specific in your label. Like, it's not just I feel angry. Maybe it's frustrated. Maybe it's annoyed. You have to really go in and understand really what that emotion is. And then when you can do that, oftentimes it evaporates. I don't know why. I don't know what creates this, but there is a lot of research to back this up, and it's definitely one of the things I teach in all of the crisis situations I go into, and certainly with all of my clients. So just take a moment and just label all the different emotions that you have. If you want to take this further, I actually have a heart connection visualization, and this really helps you to empathize with your heart who's having these emotions. And that can be so, so powerful, because when you give care and empathy to yourself, even when other people give it to you, when you give it to yourself, it's actually more nourishing than other people give it to you. So it's really important that we give it to ourselves as well as accept it from others. The second thing you can do if you notice that you're overreacting is you want to try and understand the other person's perspective. Now, I know this is exactly not what you want to hear, and it's not for their sake at all that I'm suggesting that you do this. I have found that when you take a moment to kind of understand where the other person is coming from, oftentimes you might be able to notice that perhaps what they said or did didn't even have that much to do with you at all. Many times we just get stuck in our bubble, and we just see what we've done in the past, what we're struggling with, everything that's happening for us. And it's really hard to see the bubbles of other people, or to even understand that other people aren't in the same bubble as us. And so just like we might think that they're attacking us personally, they're also in their own bubble, and they might be reacting and operating out of their own perspective and their own beliefs, and it actually has nothing to do with you. So trying to understand the other person's perspective, while it can help you foster forgiveness for them, that's your choice. But what it really can help you do is take away that sting, take away that pain that they were specifically attacking you. Sometimes they might be, I don't understand what your situation is in this moment. So that's something you really have to figure out. But this can really take off a lot of the sting and help you process the emotions more easily. The third thing to do to help you really kind of move through this overreaction is actually do the heart breathing technique. This is a technique that I actually created on my own, but it's something that I've come across that HeartMath also does. They call it heart-centered breathing. So if you want more information, you can check them out. When I was creating this, I used to start, so how you start is you focus on your heart and you imagine you breathe in whatever emotion it is you have. If it's a really uncomfortable emotion, you might not want to breathe it in. And actually when I started, I didn't want to breathe it in. So I just tried to breathe it out, but it wouldn't release that way. I don't know why. Again, I have these techniques and I know they work, but I don't always understand why. It's so mysterious. So with uncomfortable emotions, we have to imagine that we're breathing them in through our heart and then we're breathing them out to let it go. So breathing it in through your heart and then breathing it out to let it go. And that's kind of part of the acknowledgement that you have this emotion. And before you can let it go, you have to really acknowledge and feel it. And then you can breathe it out and let it go. And that really helps you process any type of emotion that you would like to have or you want to process. The last thing you can do is you can try journaling what your emotions are, what your thoughts and feelings are, and this can help you sort through the jumble that's going on, because often it can be a mix of past experiences, wounds, present experiences, anger, hurt, a lot of different emotions can be all jumbled into one ball. And when you journal or just write things out, it can help untangle that a little bit. That's also why speaking to a therapist can be really helpful because they help you kind of untangle the jumble that can just feel stuck inside of us. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helped you maybe understand why we overreact and then also give you some tips and tricks of how you can move past it. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.